Welcome to my channel. My name is Julius. In case you are new to this channel, please like this video and subscribe to get notification for the future videos. Today we are looking at this image slider, and these image sliders are normally common in e-commerce websites. So we have 3 or 4 main things here. One is the image gallery, and the next is a button here which is used for scrolling this image to the left, and the other one is also a button used for scrolling these images to the right. Now down here we have a slider in terms of a var, where we have some thumbnails here, and a slider background where this thumbnail slides over. Now all this work of sliding will be done in the second part of this video, and that is why you need to subscribe to get notified on when the second video will be uploaded. So for now we're going to look at HTML and CSS. With this, let's get into our coding environment and start the project. So with me, I'm having these two VS Code open and browser also here open. I'm using Google Chrome. So in the file tree, I don't have a lot. I have only 3 things. One is the image folder. The second one is index.html file, and we have CSS file as well. So in the HTML file, there's nothing. I've just connected all these 2 files together, the CSS and HTML. And somewhere here in the second file of the CSS, I have some general reset here, and mainly I'm having some sections here in which we shall give some style rules. Now, without wasting time, let's dive into the project by looking into our HTML. And in the image folder, I think we have some images that we're going to scroll. We have around 12 images and 2 PNG images used for the arrow sliding. So we'll start by giving some markup. So let's dive here. In the first place, we need to give some title, and we shall use a heading 1 for this title. Like we can write from our design, we had this heading saying, "Dear valid customer, please make your selection." So we can do that here in heading 1. Now immediately I will be jumping from one file to another as we continue styling them. We have the heading already displaying here, and we have some heading styles around. So I will use that heading 1 as the selector, and we give some few styles. One, we need to have some color for this one, not complete black. I have some reset folder, some variables here for colors, so we're going to give some to this. So we shall say color, and what is the color? The color is using this var heading. So we select that. When we save and refresh, you see that we have our heading well there with the color not completely black, and that is readable. So we need to also align it to the center. So we say text align center. Now the next thing, perhaps before we continue, also in the body, a few styles as we continue adding more. So we can have the body selector, and the first thing I need to give here is some font family. So I will have some font family of Arial. We have some nice display around, and I need all these things to be in the middle. So we'll display this flex. So display flex, then align center item to the center, that is vertical, and for now we don't see it because we have not given some height. So we also need to align it horizontally center, that is justify content center, and we can give some height here of 100 viewport. So everything is already here in the center, that is good. And then the next, we need to continue to the next section, which is the images. So we get back into our Visual Studio Code and create some containers. So the first container I'm giving here should be a container that takes all these images. Inside, I'm going to create 3 of them nested together. So the next one is going to be image container wrapper. Now inside this image wrapper, we need to have some image container that contains all this image here. So let me call it as image list. Now inside here, we can draw some images around and using img. I'm using Mac, so we first enter into the folder of images by having /. So let's select our first image here, and we need to give some class here. So let's have some class that will be all the same to all the images we're going to place there. So maybe we can say this image content. Now we have some huge image around somewhere there, so we can style it down from our CSS. From here, let's get multiple images by duplicating what we have here. So we're going to have some 11 duplication to add into this one here to make 12. Now we have many images already. As we can see, that's too large to view. Now we can have some styling around, and first of all, take this image list by copying it and pasting to avoid typo errors to our style images here. So we're going to give some few set rules around. Now firstly, we need to give it a width of 300 pixels. And then also we need to give it a height of 400. The outer container, we need to also limit it, this container here. When we get inside above this, because it's outermost container, we can style it above the other one here. So we can give a max width of 1200 pixels, and then the width should be responsive, where we're going to use a percentage of 95%. Will be occupying most of the browser with the images, and the 5% will be distributed to the margins here. So having done that, still our images are overflowing, they're too huge. We have to give some styling also there. Now we copy the class of these images. They're all having the same class, so the styles will be applied to all the images we have here. Now width should be 100%. We need to give also the direction, because we have two items mainly. One is the heading, the second one is the div that contains these images. So we can say flex direction to column. Now by saving it, everything will be at the center. So here should be margin. Yeah, everything is centered well. We have all these images given here. Now let's go ahead and change these images to the individual images we had there earlier on. Yeah, welcome back. So all our images are here. As we scroll around, we can see there are nice images here of foods and drinks. Now for any images that fail to load, we will have this writing beside them. So image 2 and 3 fail to load, meaning we have just removed something out here. So let's write it back, image 2, and here image 3. So all of them are sorted. We have all the images here. Now from our project design, we had these images are to scroll horizontally. For now, they're vertically. So what do? We need to use some grid display here in the parent container that contains all these images. That is the image list. So we get back to the CSS and inside here we display grid. Now here nothing happens apart from all this one here joining together, where we can give some gap here. A gap of maybe 18 pixels can do. So we had that, and we have to say grid template column, and we shall be using this repeat. So there are 12 images with the same width, so we say 1FR, and right away they're here working, scrolling, and we have this weird scroll bar around here, which is from the browser, and we need to have our own just from our design. Here we had some scroll bar around here, so we need to customize that by removing the one from the browser, and we go ahead and have our own scroll bar. So we come back here to this list and we say overflow in X direction to be auto. Then we'll copy this one here, this class, and paste it. Then we use this pseudo class of WebKit and we say display to none. Yeah, so you can see we have 900 pixels of the width. When we resize, we have that already well centered at the page of the website and scrolling smoothly without the weird scroll bar here. So next, we are done with this. The next thing here, we move on to the next styling of the image sliders. So the image sliders must be here at the bottom. So we get back into our HTML, and then leaving two of this one is for the image container, and then this one here we will give, or we create some dips also. So the first we'll give a class of maybe slider buffer. So inside here we need to have the track, so we say slider track, and inside there we need to have the thumbnail slider thumb. Now we can go ahead and style this. Let's first take the outer one to see what we're going to work with. So in our styling, to center them well, now we can say height of around 40 pixels. Then we can give it the width to be a full width of 100%, and we need to see how it looks like. Where it is also displayed, it must be displayed after the pictures, so we give a background color. So this background color we can use will be color this. Now that is exactly what we have here, our slider, or the background in which we are going to have it here. So we can also paste it and give it a height of 2 pixels, a width of 100%, then a background color. So we are going to use our variables here of the track, which is this color here, and right away it is somewhere here, we can see. Now we need to display flex here to center it. Display flex, then align item to the center. Now when you see it's here already, I don't think whether we need this anymore, we can turn it off. So that is our track, and above this track we need to also have the thumb. So our thumbnail here, having that class, is copied and we paste it here. So we need to have the same width of 2 pixels and the height is not going to be all full width. You can decide whatever height you want to have. I think the height instead should be 2 pixels, and the width should be half of maybe of the full width, and 50% I think can do. We don't see it because we did not give some background color, so let's do that. Background color we're using brown, or the term is this color. So that is what we have. So we have our. Now we need to give some simple, some hover effect, that when we hover, we need the cursor here to turn into a grabbing hand, something like that, and then we need this thing also to expand a little bit. So from here we need to create from the slider track, and all these styles will apply on hover maybe, then slider turn also on hover. The height to increase a little, so height should be around 4 pixels. Let's give it a try and see. Yeah, you can see it's increasing. Now after having done that, I think we need to differentiate the slider away from the track. By after hovering like this one here, a hand must appear around. So let me come to the term, then copy this, take it down and paste it there. We look at the cursor, should be grab. So here's grabbing. When it is active, in active mode, so we change this pseudo class to active, so the cursor should be behaving differently and should be grabbing at this state. So let's test it to see whether it's working. After placing above this, it's looking like that. When you click, we expect it to hold. Great. Maybe I need to zoom in and check clearly how it looks like. Let me zoom once more. So this is what we have. You can see that when you click, it's like grabbing. So in JavaScript, we will be rotating it left and right. But there's one thing that's not looking correct. The ends here are very sharp. We need to give some rounded corners around here in both the slider and the term. So we get back to where we have here. I think here in the track, we can give some border radius. And say border radius will be like 4 pixels. I think we copy the same thing and paste it also to the term, so they all have the same set rule. Now we can see everything is looking perfect. Great. Now I think I needed the expansion on hover of the track here to be more smaller than the other one here, to look more realistic. So I will come back here and reduce it to something for the track. So for the track on hover, replace this because I had something here to make difference. So let me take this one here to 3. That is for the track. And I remove the term away because I'm having the same rule down here. So where there is term, I can now place my 4 there. So height of 4 pixels. Now let's take a look. So we can see that they are perfectly together, and make a display to flex, and we give align item also center. When you save it and come back, yeah, here is perfect now. You can see something up and down equal distribution, so it's like when you rotate around, it will be hovering it in whatever area it's passing through. So this is so great. One thing I also need to bring here is the location in which we are grabbing this thumbnail is a little bit very small. We need to give it more space, like maybe if your hand is somehow here, so be able to grab also down here, so be able to grab. So we come here and use another pseudo class to create something from this track thumbnail. So slider thumb after here can work. So what do we need to give? We want to give a content. Always when you're using after or before, we have to give some content of empty, and then position should be absolute -10 pixel, meaning after 10 pixels from the track, that is when it will not be active. So bottom should also be the same, -10 pixels. Let's check it out and see. Since this one is absolute, we have to give relative to where it has been contained. So this should have position of relative, so it will work perfectly. Okay, I assume so. Yeah, great, correct. So when my hand is up here, it is also still grabbing. When my hand is down here, is also what? Grabbing, and that is great. So it's working well. We can go ahead and check this on a dev tool, maybe by going to inspector, developer tools, and I have toggled this one on. Then we can get some devices around here like this Gmotor, and that is how it looks. The images are scrolling smoothly. So let's turn this off. And continue with our styling. So the next styling here is going to be for the buttons, which are here according to our design here. So we have the left and right buttons, which are positioned halfway of the images. So let's go ahead and implement that also in our design. Now in our project, sorry, and now the next thing here is coming back to the HTML file and put these buttons between the wrapper, the image list here. So we're going to use a style of maybe preview button, and inside this we give those pages folder, images. So we get into our images and we take this left one, it's appearing somewhere here. So we do the same. So we have button with the style of next. So we have this. Now we're left with some styling. Then let's have some styles that are applied for both, and we give some styling. You can say width should be around 50 pixel, then height also 50 pixel. We're able now to see our PNG images inside there, and border radius should be 50% to get the rounded corners. Now we don't like border there, so border none, and it's hard to see it. We'll give some background color. So we have 000 there, and they are all matching together. We are not able to see this well. We can fix that by selecting those images. So we can go one by one, and inside that we are having image img. We also copy this, then we have this image graph, and we say filter invert 1, and you can see them, they're looking white, and also giving them some width of 25 pixels, so they're quite similar, looking good here, but I think they're not perfectly centered. We can go back to their parents, which are the buttons here, and say display flex, and then align item center, and then justify say item also center, and I think they're perfectly placed now. So having done that, in this same container here, let's check on the container in which they're in, the wrapper. I think the image wrapper here, sorry, yeah, this button, we need to give some absolute positioning, position absolute. Now they're inside this container, so let's move on and have them one by one. The styles that applies to only each one of them, like the left and the right. So we're going to give this one here left of 0, and you can see it has just jumped around. Then top 50%, so it is there perfectly centered. And then we do the same to the next one, which is the previous. So here should be right. As we can see, we keep on scrolling, and these are images of high resolution. That is why they're loading a little bit slowly. For a real website, we have to scale them down to have lower resolution for easy responsiveness. So I think that is perfect, and this is the project we just want to do, and we have just few things here left. One, after placing our cursor on top of this button, it should show some hand here, or the finger, that is the pointer. So we get back into this style is later common for all of them, and say the cursor should be pointer. Let's prove it whether it's working or not. Yeah, great, here is working, also here is working. So we need on cover, the color should change a little bit to look more interactive. So do we have cover? We don't have cover, but we can create it here for all the two. We just copy the whole of this one and paste it around here, but we give the hover state, likewise there. Background color, and we can give something light like this one here. Do we have it in our variables? We can use this one here for the heading. Great. So let's give it a trial again. That is good. So next we need some shadow, small shadow around here on cover also. So we can say box shadow, say 0 pixels, maybe 8 pixels, and the same color, this lighter color here, on save. Yeah, great, it's looking so nice. Now we can also take a look at this one. How does it look like on a mobile device? you realize that we have this. Yeah, that is great. So thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe and like this video so that you will get the next part 2 of the project, where we can make this thing work. On click, the image is scroll to the left. On click on this button, the image is scroll to the right, or you can graph manually and move around to see the gallery images all well displayed. Thank you for supporting my channel. Goodbye.